Okay, this is the case with some of my samples that usually travels with me when I go to classes. There's a beret from my book that's made off of a band made from recycled sweater. This is a bag that a friend brought back from Central America. This is bromeliad fiber. And look at this fabulous base, the way that this bag is started. I love this piece. It's so soft, I wish you could feel it. Oh, this is a hat I made from basswood bark and hand-spun silk, not hand-spun by me, but from Habu Textiles. A recycled t-shirt and looping as a filling in this little purse. I usually put candy in this and wear it with the crown, which is hidden in the case somewhere, so that I can throw candy to the crowd. This is looping over a Corfuagian coiling set up as a chase. Let's see, this is my old camera case made from toothbrush looping that I sewed an image transfer to. That's a picture of my dad. Another bag with pockets and a flap closure with the button. Just a sample, playing with different ways to create textures. I have this idea that I ought to be able to make something that looks like cables, so I'm working on that. Little free-form piece, simple bag, just changing colors, but then on the flap creating a layered freeform piece, and then stitching around. On the inside of this there's horsehair braid to give it some body so that it doesn't stretch too much when I put the bag. It's just large enough that put a little weight in it. And I did stiffen the bottom on this with a little bit of plastic canvas, so there's a double layer bottom in there. Here are my mittens, my fingerless mittens. Here's a little sock that I made. Good exercise for shaping. I love Burundi, which intersects with multiple previous rows. This piece has a slider lid. If I can... This is two color trades, and worked in this complex looping, you really get a strong sense of vertical stripes from the two color trades. A little bead looping to get things started on here. This is something that stays in this case all the time so that when I'm standing in front of a group I can demonstrate the basic looping technique. The material here is from a spool of jute that I bought for a macrame project in 1974. I'm almost done with it. And here's another sample. I was testing knitting panels combined with looping to hold sections together. And this is actually cross-knit looping. Oh, here's the crown. I'm not going to put it on for you right now. You can just imagine that I look fabulous in it, and so does everyone else who's ever put it on. Oh, this little case held my old cell phone and would go through the loop on my jeans. Little buttons. This was made from bias cut strips of silk fabric. Here's a piece that incorporates skipped and knotted stitch combinations. And this was, I made this to hold, my mother-in-law always kept her crochet needles in an old hinged hard-shelled eyeglass case. So that's what this was made for, to hang that case. There's a little, I call these amoebas, these little vessels. And it's a free-form shaping exercise. Lots of fun to make these. Here's a necklace that I made using the same chase style Fuegian coiling as the little velvet bags, but over tubing, and then I used some bead looping to cap the ends and make a little slider element for the center. There's a whole pile of bead looping samples just to remind me of which colors kind of work together between the bead colors and the thread colors. Here's a whole pile of other bead looping samples just to remind me of things that I've tried and either mean to get back to or mean never to do again. This stuff just all stays in this case. A little free form over an ultra suede liner that I never liked the colors on. There's another one that I didn't like the proportion on. Let's see here. This is some free-form bead looping made up into a bracelet with ultra suede on the back side to neaten it up. There's a little basswood bark cordage looping. It's a little more cross-knit looping with a fun little detail at the rim and some intarsia. Here's a little vessel I intended to make into a class at one point. You can see the size of it, and since it took me 12 hours, I thought there's no way any conference will ever accept this as a class, and they haven't. Oh, willow coiled oval base and some intarsia looping and some looping over a core, some different stitch variations in these sample pieces for a little basket. Here's a brandy vessel, again another one that doesn't look very big, doesn't look like there's much to it, takes a long time. Really good techniques and shaping challenges in here. This is a sample that was worked as a square and then folded together, and I used textural looping to camouflage the seam lines and add some body to the rim. Here's a vase covered with freeform looping, and because I couldn't find a vase that I wanted, I painted the inside with acrylic paint, and it's worked okay. This is one of my favorite pieces. My friend Sue made this for me a long time ago. She does beautiful textural work. Thank you, Sue. Some more freeform and skip stitch patterning on a little gourd. Another little gourd with a pocket. Pockets are really, oh, this is what, you know that technique we've used for closing edges together? That's what it looks like when you work it open and it's supported. It's a very cool stitch. Here's, for you gourd people, here's another small vessel where I used a coiled rim and then worked textural looping around the rim using that coiling as an anchor point. This is without it all being covered up. And this shows you what it looks like when a mouse chews on the looping. It does not unravel. Here's Siberian iris coiling for the body of this little doll, and some skip stitch patterning and some textural looping. That's not all my samples, not by a long shot. I've got a big bag of stuff that's just, you know, really horrible, misdirected intentions that I keep to remind myself. That didn't work, but it gives me an idea. So I just tuck them into that bag. I have stuff that's in my purse, in my briefcase, in my house, in my bathroom. I have stuff that's on display, and I have stuff that's in use.
Have fun building your own collection of looping samples and experiments and explorations, and I'll see you again soon.